personally, I don't like that. I don't like to get things, easily. As in, I don't want to sleep my
work
way.
for it.
Yes, I want to earn it genuinely.
Yeah. How do you get your gigs? Do you have someone who connects you, or you are there? Is there a platform that you go to? Everybody knows that, okay, this role is good for Barbara, or somebody needs to connect you. How do the gigs come?
I don't care. I cannot go the extreme nude
Okay.
scenes. Yes. And when it comes to kissing scenes too, I can just discuss with my colleague actor, my co-actor, that let's limit it to just lip on lip. Let's not go deep into French kissing and stuff like that. And I can speak to the director that I can expose up to bra level, but don't expect me to go butt naked on your set. A producer called me for a gig, and he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to give you the platform, so for now, you will not be paid."
If you try to put people on now, the moment they get like 10K views or 10K followers, you who put them on, you have to struggle to even have them be on your set.
With us, I think the issue is greed, selfishness. For example, if you take a movie like Home Alone, then over there, they can get only one person just to be monitoring the sound, to monitor only the sound. Another person's job is to specifically monitor the light. Another person's job is to just direct. So when the movie is over and you see the movie credits coming up, you can see about 10 people's name under director, assistant director, second assistant to the assistant director. And you will see about 3 production houses coming together to produce a particular movie. They don't mind collaborating. But over here, it's one person who wants to be the main character, be the producer, be the director, be the editor. One person wants to do everything.
Okay. All right, Barbara. Welcome to the ABC show.
Thanks for having me, Harrison.
All right. So
how you doing?
I'm okay. And you?
I'm fine.
All right. So I've known you. I know you do voice over acting, you on-screen acting, you do a bit of commercials here and there, you sing. Yeah. So what got you into doing all these?
Well, right from childhood, I'll say I've been an artistic person. Art, music, it runs in my family from my father's side. So it wasn't really something I struggled with. Growing up I'd say from about 6 years upwards, I realized I had these interests in singing, being part of the church drama club and all of that. Yeah, so that is how I knew I was interested in those things. But I think I started taking it seriously from SHS.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was part of the drama club in my SS days.
All right. So fast forward, you were part of drama club. What did you pursue after SS? And was that related to acting in any way?
No, it wasn't, because at the time my parents were like, they watch this, they will beat me.
Don't worry.
In the 80s, 90s, it was quite a struggle to come to your parents and
when
tell
you talk
them,
about 80s, as if
I'm
you were
very
going
old,
to tertiary in the 80s.
I'm very old, though.
Okay.
Don't let this baby face fool you.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, back to serious stuff. So when I started expressing my interest in that, it was not well received, because they will go like, "Oh, is that what you want to do? I mean, go school, get a career, find something to do, pursue a course or something. Acting can always be done." And this is how my father would always put it. I mean, acting is ageless. There are sometimes they need a very old woman, and there are sometimes too they need a very young baby. So acting is ageless. So just find a career you want to do. But they didn't get it that sometimes your passion, your hobby can be a career.
Okay.
Yeah, that you are meant to pursue. So I didn't really start early. I remember every time I would go for rehearsal, my mom would be so angry that, "Now, how much are they paying you? You're doing this for free." Because those days too, if you're not a star, even up to now, it's like that.
You're not,
you're an upcome. So they would call it, "You're paying your dues." So I was not really getting anything. That was in Kumasi, way back in Kumasi. That's where I started from. That's where my family is. So, they were not allowing me to pursue it much until I came to Accra to further my education in translation. I have a bachelor's degree in translation, French, Portuguese, and English.
Okay.
So I'm a certified translator. But, as God will have it, what you're passionate about, dear, you definitely are passionate about. So,
all right.
Pursuing my career, I I resigned from my job in 2020. This was 2025.
Yeah.
I left in 2023. Yeah. Because I wanted to do what makes me happy. I want to pursue what makes me feel fulfilled.
Okay.
So currently, I'd say I'm an upcoming or aspiring full-time actress, commercial model, content creator, makeup artist. Yeah. I wear a lot of hats.
All right. So when would you say you got your first gig that probably burst a bubble that made you feel that, okay, now let me leave my job and then actually go and pursue this thing full time?
At the time I was resigning from my job, I didn't have any specific major gig. But I remember because of that job, I would rather miss out on gigs. So, especially when I'm watching movies, I'm like, this role, I could have acted it. What am I doing? I felt so unfulfilled. I felt like something out there is missing. I'm missing out on something major.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the time I was resigning, there was no major gig. But as soon as I took that bold step, that was when gigs rather started coming, major gigs. So for example, last year, 2024, in March, there was this project for Ghana because the producers wanted to encourage the youth not to leave the country.
Okay.
And a lot of the youth is, running
Everyone
away.
Jackpot in.
Yeah. So the movie is aimed at telling the youth not to leave the country and even advising the diaspora to also come back and make the country
invest.
better.
All right.
So I got a chance to act in it, and what was the most privilege for me was being part of the production, the music production.
Okay.
We chose Ifrimamu's Yenara Assassin.
Okay.
Yes, so we recomposed it. We got the copyrights to recompose it, tweak it, and it was a beautiful production. We toured all the places, the most exciting places here in Ghana, just to showcase what Ghana can be in the future. And I don't think I would have been able to do that had I been working
8 to 5. All right. So you've done 8 to 5. You moved to doing full-time acting, whether voiceovers, commercials, or on-screen. How has it been so far? How's the journey been so far? Would you say it's paying for where you are now, or you think that the future is bright?
The question again, do I think it's been what?
Paying. How's the journey been so far? Let's take how the journey has been so far, and then we can look at whether it's paying.
Yeah. I would say with the Ghanaian movie industry, the jobs don't come as rampant as I'd prefer it. You know? So I remember last year, that particular national project we did was in March into April and May.
Okay.
But within that period till December, still last year, I was just there, not getting any movie gigs.
Okay.
But I did a couple of commercials in between, and then I was getting makeup gigs as well. I'm enjoying my freedom as an entrepreneur. I really, I'm comfortable, and I wish more jobs were coming. As a matter of fact, in 2024, I wanted to also jackpot to Nigeria.
The Nigerians are coming here. You want to jackpot to Nigeria?
Yes, because of the nature of the job I want to do.
Okay.
Their movie industry has really blossomed. That's one
true.
day. Let's be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really, really wanted to go there, but accommodation was one of the challenges I was facing because I wanted to stay with a friend's mom, but at the time she was not in the country. She had gone to Canada. So because of that, I didn't go because I wouldn't want to go and look desperate there because we all know that
stranded,
desperate and stranded. Because, hey, in as much as there are good people in the industry, we have wolves in sheep's clothing as well. Because you're desperate or you're in need, they might want to take advantage of you. So I really had to tread cautiously.
All right.
But I'm enjoying it so far. I like the freedom. I just pray, say,
more gigs will
come. You have to give me a gig.
No, Hannah, don't worry. So with commercials and then playing roles in movies and all that, how did you realize at an early stage that commercials were part of what you wanted to do as an actor?
Yes. Anytime I'll see a commercial of a cooking oil brand or a rice brand, tomato paste brand, I'm like, oh, this thing is nice, so I can do it. Anything. I just love being on screen, but in person, I'm a shy person. But when it comes to acting, people are like, but you're an actress, why aren't you, what makes you think you're shy? It's because that one, I've just shoot the script and I'm pouring, and it's just me and the cameraman and whoever I'm acting with. So we are feeding off of each other's energy. Yes, I like that. So anytime I'll see a billboard, I'm like, oh, I can do this. It's not just to pose and take a picture for it. Can't I smile and do it?
Right.
Yeah.
So I know you've done a few commercials here and there. Which one so far has been the most interesting for you?
Let me see. I can't. Okay. The one we just did was for Duffy's or Hema feminine mixture.
Okay.
It was interesting because it's talking about menstrual cramps. Even though I'm a woman, but I really don't go through those things. So, when I get a script or I'm asked to play a role, I really have to read about what it is, memorize the lines. It was quite a sophisticated line. The delivery was sophisticated. And it was shot by a top-notch producer, so I was quite nervous. But when I was done, they were like, "Oh, mommy, you did well. You have a bright future in this thing." Da 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 da. It wasn't bad. And the next one too was for MTN. Is it? I'm sorry, I don't remember. But there's a huge billboard on the Temamoto Way thing. I think it's talking about change, inspiring the youth or something. You can make it. I think it's called "You Can Make It." The "You Can Make It" challenge. Yeah. It was interesting. We went all the way to the Kaneshi market station. We got there around 6 a.m., blended with the market women. It's quite interesting how to get them on board because they are there to sell. And so the more you waste their time, they're like, "Oh, bruh, I'm wasting time. You need to move for people to come and buy." So it's interesting getting how they convince people to come on board, the market women come on board and then we fuse with them and blend with them. Yeah, those are the most interesting ones.
I mean, for now, let me ask about money. As the money comes, when, and I'm asking because I've had a personal experience. The moment people see you on TV, the idea is that you're rich.
Hey,
yeah. So even if you run a business, you've been interviewed 1 or 2 times and everybody thinks that you've probably arrived. Is it the same for you? Are you there yet?
It's not the same at all because when you do the ad, when you shoot the commercial, you're not paid upfront. They have a time period on it after which you'll be paid. So some can range between 2 to 3 months. Okay, so by the time that 3 months is up, you've already spent the money in the spirit. It's left for it to manifest in the physical.
Spend the money in the spirit.
So, and sometimes the productions also delay in it being aired on TV.
Okay.
So, for example, if they pay me today and I'm done spending the money and you see it next year on TV, you might think, say, "Hey, Papa is making money. Hey, meanwhile, I've spent it 2 years ago or something."
Okay.
And also, this is a very sensitive thing, but I'm going to say it. I feel like the gatekeepers are also, in a way hoarding the money in terms of how much us, the talents, are supposed to be paid.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they outsource other agencies to get the models for them. So the brand doesn't contact me directly. Yeah. So sometimes they don't want to pay you what you're worth. Recently, when was it? Last week, Friday, up into yesterday, Monday, I turned down a voiceover gig because it's supposed to be a voiceover in Tree. They've already shot the English video and everything.
You have to translate.
So when the Tree came, they had done it at first and they brought it. But when I was reading it, I was like, "Oh, this is not how a Tree person would normally speak it." So I because I did translation too, I'm able to apply certain techniques in translation and assist. But they were not willing. First of all, they are paying 300 cedis. This is 2025. My transportation craft from where I live to that place will drain all that money. And if I'm to do the translation, you're asking me to do it for free too. Wow. And they make it look as if
it's a favor.
Yes, it's a favor they are doing you, or you are too money conscious. I'm not really charging you. I didn't come with a fixed price, but at least let's strike.
Meet each other halfway.
Yes, let's strike an agreement. But they make it look as if that, people are ready to do it. And it's true, people will even do it for cheaper. So you're always going to fight for what you truly deserve, and so it's quite challenging.
This conversation brings me to my next question, where it's as though, just act, play the role, be on the screen, and something better will come. So instead of paying you what you are worth, it's as though we are putting you on the screen so that when people get to see you, let's pay you something little. From this gig, you're going to get a bigger gig. Do you get that kind of reactions from producers when they call you on set.
Yes, and I don't mind doing those ones because it's me using it to build my portfolio. But whereby you don't want to even pay me at all because you're like, oh, say I'm bringing you on screen. Do you know what you will get? But if I go and buy my cocoa, would I tell them, oh, please have shots?
A movie somewhere.
Wait, give me the cocoa. I'll become a star very soon. I can't do that. I'm not asking for a lion's share of money.
Okay.
But at least, even if it's 200 cedis, and I'm able to buy cocoa, I remember that, this cocoa dear, I made my own money and I've been able to afford my own cocoa. Yeah, I've taken most of those jobs, to build portfolio.
Now, being a female in this space, I mean, probably the reason your parents wouldn't want you to go into acting is they think that men will take advantage of you. And I don't know how the industry is here. I have never acted. How is it for you? How has it been for you? You get on a role, or you get a role, and anybody's making advantage or making advances at you?
Talk about that. That one there is very true. Right from even the audition. Okay. Right from the audition hall, when you register for an audition, there was right from the corridors before you even enter the audition room to meet the judges. If you don't observe well, before you realize the cameraman, the lightsman, the boy, the set assistant, everybody would have slept with you before you get to the director. Before you realize you've even slept with the one who is not even, handling the project. Yeah. So for me, I can't speak for everybody. I only speak for myself. Personally, I don't like that. I don't like to get things, easily. As in, I don't want to sleep my way. For it. Yes, I want to earn it genuinely. Yeah. If I will be with you, it's because I genuinely like you. Okay. So the way I carry myself, you as a director, you will not even be able to ask me that. And if I see that you are trying to trend that way with the conversation, you're trying to make advances at me, I'll just respectfully also tell you that, oh, director, I'm going out to, oh, director, oh, you are my boss. Hey, boss. I'll find a nice way to be jovial with you. Okay. But you as a person, you have to know what you stand for. You have to know what you stand for. It's really, really rampant. It's really, really rampant. But I can't speak for anyone. So
how do you get your gigs? Do you have someone who connects you, or you are there? Is there a platform that you could go to? Everybody knows that, okay, this role is good for Barbara, or somebody needs to connect you. How do the gigs come?
Yeah. First of all, you can start with Instagram. You search for the production houses and follow them so that you can monitor their posts anytime they're having auditions. Okay. Yes. And that's how it started for me. So through that, you can get gigs. But there are other times too, I will go on a set. Maybe I saw the production on Instagram. I'll go on that set, and a personnel on the set will go like, oh, madam, I can see you are very, very passionate about this job. I can give you my number. Whenever I hear of other gigs, I'll let you know. Or I can recommend you to an agency who also scouts for models. Okay. So yes, it starts with you making yourself available or, researching. Okay. Researching to see if you want to be an actress or you want to do commercials, you have to follow the production houses to see when next there are new projects. They are always putting casting calls on their pages. Okay. Yeah. And so when you go, you create networks so that anytime something is up, sometimes they have a lot of people on their mind. So if you build that relationship, you can just be greeting, oh boss, anything, so that when they are preparing, they can have you also in mind. Yeah. And one more thing I'll say is that character and attitude also really, really matters in this industry. Because if you're a snobbish person, you're a rude person, nobody want to help you. They wouldn't want to work with you. Yeah.
I mean, I've done a few gigs with you here in the space, so I know how you love what you do. But just wondering, is there any major project you worked on that you say, Charlie, aside, maybe let's take voice acting. Anything you've done that still you feel that, it's one that I would want to do again?
Let's see. Voice acting. Oh, yes, it was a political gig just with the ended election. Okay. And I was happy to be part of it because of the topics we were treating, It was your project. Okay. And I liked the topics whereby we were talking about early child marriage, teenage pregnancy, and the likes. I mean, I feel like the awareness is not created enough. And so sometimes if English would be the barrier, I remember we did some in so many different local languages. So if that is the route we need to take, and I enjoy doing that. It's an everyday tree we are speaking already. So if that is how we need to communicate for the youth to grasp it, I'm there.
So the few times where you had to combine acting with your 8 to 5 job, how was it?
Oh, it was stressful. Oh, this one day, if my boss watches it, I'll spoil people's chances. So, yeah, because, I had to sometimes take my leave when I'm not ready to, deduct some of my leave days, because the leave days wasn't much. And as I said earlier on, my family is in Kumasi, so you need to spread it across the year well so that you can have time to spend time with them for Christmas and all of that. But it came to a point I was using most of my leave days for the acting. And other times too, I would
find a way.
Lie and say I'm not feeling well and go and do it. And it was not making me happy, because I don't feel like I need to lie before I do something I really love. And so these are all the factors that combined together for me to decide that, I don't like who I'm becoming as a person as I work this 8 to 5 job. So it's better for me to just, I'm a firstborn child as well. I've always done what is expected of me. I've always put people's interests first. I've always done what I've been told to do. So this time, I'm going to be intentional. In 2024, when we're wishing each other Happy New Year, Happy New Year, I told myself, I'm going to be intentional about being happy this year. It's not going to be just a wish or a text message. I'm going to be intentional about doing things that make me happy. So, yeah.
We're in 2025, though.
Now we are in 2025. So it started from 2024.
And now they're around 2025. I sometimes wonder how we can build things for ourselves without going through the gatekeeper. So, have you thought of starting a series on your own? Have you thought of doing anything that is in line with what your passion is?
Yeah. With my TikTok channel, it's sad that Ghanaian content creators don't get paid for the number of views they get. You can only get gifts when you go on live, or someone gifts your videos, because when they watched it, they really enjoyed it and they just want to dash you a gift. And there's this other feature called working with artists. So, for example, if you're a gospel artist or a secular artist and you put your music on TikTok, if I'm able to pick your song to create a content and people hop on it, it trends and I get so much likes, TikTok rewards us for that. But most of those challenges are dance challenges, and I'm not really a good dancer. So it's challenging. I've started something with my Ghanaian TikTok, and I also have a UK-based channel for TikTok. And it's now building up, so I hope that with time it can start paying, because trust me, content creation has come to stay. It's going to create generational wealth, because these days, even if you are the head of a department somewhere in an international or multinational company, when you're dead and gone, your child cannot use your CV or your qualifications to continue working. But with your channel, you can leave the login details to your children to continue. Yeah, so I believe it has come to stay. So I would really, really want to focus on that. And I'm also building on my YouTube channel as well. So
No, and it takes time, but it will pay off. Just that there are a lot of people creating channels now. Like we are just so many of us. Everybody creating a channel here and there. So I don't know if it's collaborations that will help us, or we have to look at how to get corporate Ghana involved. So recently I spoke with a team someone from National Film Authority and someone who exhibits movies. And I say that, how come, so you watch a movie from the US and probably everybody's using the same phone, either from the same brand, the laptops are from the same brand. In Ghana, I've only seen that in a few movies. How do we try to marry these things so that even before we start making money from the platforms, we are still getting some money that will keep body and soul together?
For us here in Ghana, I would say it starts with the story itself. It starts with the story. Sometimes you can get the A-list actors, but the story sucks. It's not really interesting. And sometimes you can even have a boring story, but the people you bring on board to execute it will bring a lot of life into it. This table I'm about to shake. But,
you shake it, hold the leg.
You will just the leg.
I'm holding one leg already.
Yeah, so with us, I think the issue is greed, selfishness. There was this other thing I've forgotten, but mostly greed and selfishness.
Yeah,
the person is too much. For example, if you take a movie like Home Alone, you see, I'm going to use that as an example. It was shot, I don't know, was it in the 90s or when?
Yes,
do you remember?
When we watched them when we were kids.
Up till now, in Christmas, you still yearn to watch that
Home Alone. Yeah,
to get that
every Christmas it's shown on GTV.
My goodness, and every time you watch it too, it feels nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice movie. And it was not shot by only one person. Over there, they can get only one person just to be monitoring the sound. To monitor only the sound. Another person's job is to specifically monitor the light. Another person's job is to just direct. So when the movie is over and you see the movie credits coming up, you can see about 10 people's name under director, assistant director, second assistant to the assistant director. And you will see about 3 production houses coming together to produce a particular movie. They don't mind collaborating. But over here, it's one person who wants to be the main character, be the producer, be the director, be the editor. One person wants to do everything. And they want to say, I am the one who was able to do this. Imagine, I don't want to mention any production house's name, but imagine those about 2 or 3 production houses here in Ghana would come together to produce a movie. It really, really go a long way. Yeah. The person is too much. Selfishness and greed. That's what is killing us right from everywhere. I mean, it goes through every department. Politics, church, school, the corporate world, the movie industry. It's like that.
I copy what you said, because even for us, in this small space that we are in, when we have an audio gig, there's someone who is an audio expert who handles. So anytime we have voice over gigs, there's someone who handles that and is able to deal with the voice as well. When it has to do with photography, people are specialized in editing pictures. When it comes to video, people specialize in that. So you don't have one person trying to do everything. My worry, however, is if you try to put people on now, the moment they get like 10K views or 10K followers, you who put them on, you have to struggle to even have them be on your set. I don't know if you've seen that. So maybe our brand can probably take 5 or 10 people. So let's produce this series or this number of short skits, and then you put these people on for a while. After a while, when they think that they are there, to even come and be on your own set, wahala. So you see that you, the producer, you want to help people, but you're also scared that the Ghanaian, as we are, when they get to that particular point, they will leave you. Okay, so it also depends on how you as the producer, how entitled you feel like, because you give them the platform. Yeah. You are entitled to them. You should still see them as artists. You should still see them as they are working. So even if you are calling them on your set, so I'm pay
sure
them.
You pay them, but maybe I'm sure because they have that rapport with you, they still remember you did them that good or that favor. So if they are charging 1,500 outside, because of the rapport they have with you, they might do 1,000. Okay. It comes from mutual respect. If you're always rubbing it in the person's face, I made you. That's entitlement. That is another issue when it comes to our producers. Yeah. They'll be going about telling people that, this guy I made it. But the person, fine, you brought the person on board, but the person also
had to put in effort.
Make sure they worked on their craft. So I think if that one is kept out, it will be fine.
So aside my gender disturbing you on set, I mean, what else? People don't want you to pay for the work that you do. Do you get your wardrobe being catered for, makeup being catered for, or every set, and what are you able to offer?
Yeah, it's supposed to be that way. When you're called up as an actress, you're supposed to be provided with makeup, shoes, your costume, your hair. But hey, Ghana they have charged whoever they are shooting for. For example, if you give me
a gig to shoot a commercial.
Yes, I can give you the proposal that this is the cost of the production. I'll need this money for TNT. Sometimes they can even lie to the executive producer that they are paying us TNT, but meanwhile, they will not pay us the TNT. Or they will say, oh, we need this money for costume. Meanwhile, they will come backstage and message us that, oh, please, do you have a black trouser? Please come with your own shoes. Meanwhile, I'm sure the brand has given that money. They've allocated something to cater for those things. Yeah. So that's some of the challenges we've been facing, because at that time, maybe I don't have money for that.
But you have to go, because you're on set, you have to go and look for a black shoe, even though you're not ready to buy one.
If the brand's colors are blue, me, I will not wear a blue blazer on a normal day. I'm a simple top jeans kind of girl, but because of that, I had to go and look for
a blue blazer.
When I finish using it for the advert, I'll not use it again.
So for those of us who are coming, people like me, who are now trying to build our own channel, and for anybody who is looking at getting into your space, what would you say? I mean, you saw it at the age of 6, 7 that that's what you wanted to do, but you still had to go around, go to tertiary, and then work and decide that I have to quit and then focus on. Knowing that it doesn't pay from the beginning, what would be your advice to anybody, to an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old who is down with tertiary and looking at going into your space, even though the space is bigger now because of social media? What would be your advice?
Well, you first of all noticing that you are interested in it is you going halfway, getting halfway there. That is all you need, your passion and your interest in it, because if you're not passionate about it, it will not be long before you give up.
Yeah.
Now, what I'll advise is that as young as you are, just be vigilant, or else people will take advantage of you. Even as old as we are, you meet corner artists. The other day I was with my cousin, somewhere last year, I was with my cousin, and a producer called me for a gig, and he was like, oh, I'm trying to give you the platform, so for now, you will not be paid. Meanwhile, before we even start shooting the movie, it requires for us to rehearse. So the movie was going to be shot in 2025, but he wanted us to start rehearsing from November into December so that it will be perfect. After the elections, we just move. But imagine, the rehearsal was being held in Accra, the Accra Central, Stanbic Heights.
Okay, Stanbic Heights, yeah.
Hey, to come all the way from where I live. And I even asked him, will transportation be provided, or say there be? So first of all, if you don't have the passion and you don't come from a supportive family who will be able to sponsor your transportation, I mean, your mother will even be frustrated and say, why am I even giving you money to go all the way there? And how much are you going to be paid again? You know? So if you're an upcoming person, I'll advise that, well, you get advice. You get advice. First of all, build yourself. Make sure you are truly, truly interested. And then get advice. Whoever you can get close to for advice. I think, these Hollywood guys, they have skits, they have videos on YouTube telling you what to do, what to look out for, how to prepare for an audition, and have your own moral values as a person.
Okay. Or
else, there's a saying that goes, if you don't believe in anything, you fall for everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So know who you are, what you are willing to accept and what you are not willing to accept. Because as a woman, I mean, I've even heard that even with the guys, they've started doing that. They don't only want to sleep with the girls, they want to sleep with the guys as well. Wow. Because they know that once they give you the limelight, you're going to get more gigs, and so they want to sleep with you as a man. Yeah. That's crazy.
That's a big one. For those of us whose kids are coming up and don't know what they may want to enter into the space, I think it's something that we have to keep an eye on.
Yeah. Okay, so what I just said is from an actor's point of view. You have to prepare yourself. But for a producer's point of view, what I would say is for you to also do your research. See why other people's own are
doing
working.
Well or not doing or not working.
Yes. Even if it means, I know most of these guys are proud and egoistic, just to even contact the person that, oh, my brother, I see what you're doing is nice. This is what I'm also coming up with. What would you like to advise? I'm willing to listen. Sometimes people feel like, oh, I can do it too. I don't need his advice. But you're entering a field. You need to find out what is working for them. Find out the mistakes they made so that you can avoid. There's nothing wrong. Even if it's to just, they prepare and go, you can buy some small rice, water, just go and visit them and ask them for knowledge so that they can see how big they can help you. Because with the YouTube channel, I know people also invest in purchasing, views and subscribers.
Okay.
So you can always find out how it works as a producer, and then make sure your story is tight. and also you get the right cast for it. It will
All
move.
right. So let me just take you back to when you wanted to move to Nigeria. And then you also said that their market was, I mean, if you look at the Nigerian market for movies against just in terms of population and the number of movies that they churn out even on weekly and monthly basis, you see that, yes, that's a market that you thrive in.
Right.
What do you think they are doing differently from what we are doing here in Ghana?
Nigerians.
Is it that they all come together on Mr. A set, and then on Mr. B set you probably have all the same people playing different roles on Mr. B set, they're able to collaborate? Is it that they just have the population that supports?
I think it starts with the attitude of the people itself. They are really, really proud of who they are. Their culture is rich and they are good storytellers. And so I think it's a very good attitude to adopt because they are very, very proud of themselves. They are focusing on what will make their industry work. Meanwhile, we as Ghanaians, we don't appreciate what we have. We are always looking at foreigners. We are always looking to adapt. I mean, when was it? This is what, which month is this?
Yes, March.
In January, I saw a casting call for an audition. And this is how they put it. So and so production house is about to embark on, is calling on people within the age brackets of 18 to 55 to come for an audition at a so and so location for a sizzling brand new telenovela. As soon as I heard the telenovela, I was like, I will not go. So if Mexico or the Spaniards had not brought the word telenovela, you mean we can't find a word for our own series? Can't you say
it's a series, a Ghanaian series or something?
Can't you say a traditional cultural series about love or relationship? I mean, must telenovela come in it? It's Spanish. We don't appreciate our own.
I get that.
Intime manko, because I feel like this is a joke. I mean, you don't know who you are.
So again, back to the Nigerian and the Ghana market. I've heard people complain that the same role a Ghanaian will play, they'll give it to a Nigerian and pay the Nigerian higher than they'll give to a Ghanaian. Even though if that person is an A-lister in Ghana, they'll still want to pay a Nigerian higher than. What's your view, and have you been on any set that experienced that, or know anybody in the industry that has been through that?
I've heard, one of the veteran actors, he was sharing because it's personal to him. I don't know how he will feel about me mentioning it here, but I remember he said, he went on set with a Nigerian actor. That Nigerian actor too was an A-list legendary over there. And when he was brought from Nigeria to Ghana, he was being paid in dollars for the same role he was also playing. And this particular man, I come and I say Mama Klunewi, but this particular A-list actor here in Ghana, he has the qualifications, they have the
all that it requires to be paid.
That person is actually what's that course they do in Legon?
Is it a PhD holder or?
I think so. He's a PhD holder and he's in the performing arts, you see. Like he's a legend. Literature. So into brofo on to me in Kana. You see. So it's all about us not valuing who we are, us not valuing what we are capable of. We are always looking on the outside, appreciating what somebody has done. Meanwhile, they are also appreciating you.
What we do,
they are actually also copying you, but because you are not valuing yourself, they will also they will see you and treat you the way you see and treat yourself. Yeah. So for that one there, I'll give Nigerians, their flowers for that. They've really done well with their industry, and the population is big. So one state alone, when they produce a movie there, it booms. It goes high. Their storytelling, they put a lot of hard work in it, so they don't do shoddy work. If it's costume, they make sure they provide the right costumes, their makeup, the picture quality. I mean, they do well.
I like the way you said you put a lot of effort into their work. That brings me to my last but one question. So, even skits, when you watch Nigerian skits and you compare it to what we do here in Ghana, it's like they are here and we are here. And it looks like their education kind of touches on the performance. So, is it that they go to school for it? Is it that they are trained in school? Because the way we see acting here in Ghana is like going to study visual arts in secondary school. You won't say like
you don't take you seriously.
You go study performing arts. It's for a particular group of people. So is it our mindset that we think some class of jobs or some activities are for people who are not up to a certain level when it comes to academia or and right now we realize that you have to pay for it to get it. What is really our problem?
Yeah, so you see, I was sharing with you that way back when I expressed my interest in acting, that was how come my parents were like, oh no, finish school, because you're going to say, when I'm so, yeah, but something serious now, yeah. And I say, oh, you girls who are not serious, you nobody that or something. I mean, do something reputable. The reputation for actors wasn't that much, wasn't that high, wasn't that respectful back in the day. But now I guess our parents are gradually warming up to it. I don't know the evolution of acting or the industry in Nigeria, but I'm sure it must have been some way the same because, Africa, we are common in certain things, the way we value the white collar jobs and stuff like that. But it's just the way they've been able to, I don't know whether they got assistance from their government or something. Because you see, I think the creative space and their movie industry is what is really putting Nigeria out there the more. From movies, you come to the Christian sector as well. We have the Pastor Nathaniel Bassi's, the Mercy Chinwo's. Their music is putting them out there, either secular or gospel. And then we have their movies as well. So they've really, really invested in it. I'm sure they get some support from their government. But over here, we're not seeing the same support. We have actors who have been presidents or heads of some of these actors guilds and stuff like that, but we've not seen any improvement. Rather, we see A-list actors leaving Ghana to go to Nigeria to go and feature in their movies. I also wanted to go there, but I feel like if they can wake up.
If we can wake up.
Yes, but because they've paved the way.
Okay.
And so, and also introduce new faces. In Ghana, when they fixate on a particular actor, that's the only person they'll be using in all the movies. Sometimes they don't even look age appropriate for the particular role, but they still want to fixate on that person. But in Nigeria, even if they pick a popular face, they'll make sure they add new faces to it. So there's no room for you to even be arrogant that I'm the only one who's, By the time you're arrogant, they've already prepared your replacement. Your replacement, that is it. We need to inculcate that. So
in my mind, this is my final question, but I'm sure I'll bring more. So I know you, I've known you for long. And when you talk about morals, I think that. And I am of the view that spirituality has a role to play in how you set your moral standards.
Oh, yes.
So for me, how have you been able to, marry or combine this to make it in a way that when you go on set and anybody tries to do anything silly with you, you're able to, you stand on that moral ground to your spiritual background and everything and say, okay, I stand for A, I don't stand for B. How have you been able to combine that? How will anybody coming out be able to do that? Regardless of you being a Christian, Muslim, or...
It also depends on the kind of family you also come from.
Okay.
Your dad might not necessarily be a pastor, or you're not from a strictly spiritual home, but the values your parents have instilled in you, that as a lady, this is how you're supposed to behave, as a gentleman, this is how you're supposed to behave, this is good, this is bad. It helps you accept certain rules. It helps you direct your path in certain ways that your normal age groups will be towing that line. Yeah. So when it comes to the spiritual aspect, yes, of course, as a Christian, and I'm not limiting it only to Christians, because I know, good people Muslims, from other religious families. Yeah. So for me as a Christian, I remember 8 or 10 years ago, I shot a commercial for an alcoholic brand, and they gave me some to bring home.
What happened?
And I was like, oh, this is what they gave us. This is it. Like, it was for an alcohol brand. Oh yeah, take it back. Take it back and tell them that you will not be part of that production again. Oh, imagine the yawa. I said, but I will not drink. They just give it to me. We can dash it to someone. I said, Debbie, I cannot let you be in an alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. So I had to. It was so embarrassing. I had to go and tell them that I'm so sorry. Now they have to go and look for somebody else or cut me out of those scenes. They will see how best they can cut me out of those scenes, because it will cause them to go and look for another actress to come and shoot. So they had to retweak. And the advert came out and I was not part. And also, you know, the perception about sex and sexual scenes too was also one of the hindrances I was facing in my acting career. But growing up, I now realized that no, I don't care. I cannot go the extreme nude scenes. Yes. And when it comes to kissing scenes too, I can just discuss with my colleague actor, my co-actor, that let's limit it to just lip on lip. Let's not go deep into French kissing and stuff like that. And I can speak to the director that I can expose up to bra level, but don't expect me to go butt naked on your set. And I also analyzed and saw that it depends on the story that we are telling. Okay. So when I get a script or I'm invited to be on a movie set, I find out what the story is about and what you are achieving, what you want to achieve with the story. What lesson do you want people to learn? So if my contribution is to play the bad character so that somebody will see that, oh, if you live this lifestyle, this is how you will end up. I've done my part in communicating that message. You see, I did another advert, it was for USAID or something, sensitizing the youth about practicing safe sex and the usage of condoms and contraceptives. And so, you know, the old me or the strict me in the past would have gone like, oh, condom sex, me, I will not do it. But I realized that no, whether we like it or not, the youth is having sex. And so it's better to teach them how to practice safe sex than to just, you know, going for STDs, unplanned pregnancies, whether we like it or not, they're having sex. So what can I also do to contribute to creating that awareness that, Charlie, be careful, even though it's supposed to be in the context of marriage, but in case you do, if you don't trust the person, please just protect yourself because you don't know what is out there.
All right. I like the way you're passionate about how, and because I find myself in a behavior change space, when you mentioned adolescents having safe sex and all that, I could relate. I remember we're doing something on condoms and finding people to play the role, and that was difficult because everybody thought that the moment you play the role, when you are seen outside, it's as if that is who you are.
Because you're a bad girl, when you get sex, oh no. We are telling a story as a whole. If I say it's a Jesus story in a year, can all of us be Jesus? Somebody has to be Judas. Somebody has to be Mary Magdalene. It is the whole picture you have to look at that. At the end of the day, this is what we are preaching. This is the message you're trying to communicate. So if this is my contribution to it, to make sure the lesson is being learned, I'm up for it. I don't mind doing it.
Barbara, I'll say a big thank you for coming through on the show.
What people don't know is that we are what? Tell them.
We'll tell them later. They should watch the show today, and thank you for coming on. And I hope to host you again when your channel has probably reached over 1 million subscribers and the money is coming. We can meet again and then crack a bottle of communion wine.
Guys, follow me. Follow me. Follow the handles on the screen.
Sure.
Love you guys. Bye.
All right. Thank you.